boy, we got a lot of news to discuss, and I wanted to keep it shorter on Saturday so that we didn't run into like a 2 hour or a 3 hour or a 4 hour discussion. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure you already know what I am talking about. We had a lot of leaks. We had the full reveal yesterday, and welcome to the Untethered podcast. So, we have a lot of news, as I mentioned. So let's just dive right into it. We had a big announcement yesterday of this bad boy. So, this is the Oculus Quest 2. After a heavy week full of leaks, the Quest 2 has been revealed to have Facebook Connect 7. We got a lot of news about the hardware. We got a lot of news about software. So let's just start running through it real quick while we watch this video with the sound off. It's going to have almost 2K resolution per eye. So that's 1832 by 1920 pixels per eye. And this is achieved via a single LCD panel. Now, there are practical reasons for this. I tend to prefer the OLED displays, but LCD panels are just as good also. And they do offer a much higher resolution for a little bit lower price per display, and so I completely understand that. And because it's RGB stripe as opposed to the pentile layout, it will reduce the screen door effect, which is already pretty minimal on the Quest, even more, making it probably almost unnoticeable by most people, unless you are really actively looking for it. However, as a result of it being an LCD panel, IPD adjustments are thus a little bit more limited, because with the original Quest, how the IPD adjustment worked is each eye had its own display, and the display moved with the lens. So it was always you had the same field of view per lens, and it didn't need any software adjustment or tweaking to get the right settings. It just was physically moving everything. However, with a single panel LCD, it's all one panel fixed, and it doesn't move. So the lenses move, but if they move as freely as the original ones moved, that would be a nightmare to try to compensate for on the software side. So they've got a 3-slot adjustment where you physically move the lens from slot 1 to slot 2 or to slot 3. And the range is, if I remember right, at the small end, 58 millimeters. The middle is 63 millimeters. And the top end is 68 millimeters. Now, in John Carmack's talk yesterday, he mentioned that due to the fact of how it works and that the actual panel is not moving with the lens, people that have really wide IPDs, like evidently I do, I'm at 68 or 69, you may be able to see some of the straight edges of the LCD panel at the edge of the display. So that's a compromise that I had to deal with on the last iteration of the Gear VR that I used, because they didn't come out with a new form factor of the headset part, just a new phone, so it wasn't quite lined up right, and I was able to see the dividing line in between, like just a little bit here. So out of the corner of my left eye, I could sometimes see that line. If I'm immersed in a title, I don't notice that, but it is there. That is something to be aware of if, like me, you have wider eyes. Now, controllers. We have new controllers. They are bigger. They're white, obviously. They supposedly have a 4 times battery life. So my controllers already last about a week on one battery. So if this is true that it's going to have 4 times as long on the battery, it's going to last a full month on just a single AA battery. That's pretty amazing, given that it was already pretty amazing to begin with. It will also have a capacitive thumb rest, which is a godsend, because that means that you don't have to rest your thumb on a button or the thumbstick in games like VR chat, where if you don't have a finger on a button, your hands are like this. So now your hands can be more natural without having to have it on a button or on the thumbstick. So, however, one possible downside to the controllers is there was an Art Technica article that you may have heard about, may have read or looked at. It's long. I had to slog through it. But they reported that the controllers are possibly slippery. That they don't have the same texture on them of the original Oculus Quest controllers. Obviously, I haven't handled any yet. I haven't really heard any other reports of it being more slippery, but that's something you may want to be aware of. The next and really huge piece of hardware news on it is using the XR2 processor. This was announced last year, if I remember right, and there was all kinds of speculation as to what headset would be the first to bring an XR2 powered headset to market. Well, as it turns out, it appears to be the Oculus Quest 2, which is a bigger upgrade than almost anybody anticipated. We were all anticipating like the Snapdragon 845 or maybe the 855, but no, this is incredible and so much better than we were hoping for. This allows for the bigger display or higher resolution display to be used. It gives you 50% more pixels, and it allows for 90 hertz frame rate. According to Carmack, it could go up to 120 in some cases. It wasn't always 100% stable at 120, but on some titles 120 worked. But it'll probably just be 90 hertz. The Oculus official has not said that they're even considering the 120. Carmack just said that it could do that. Just like last year, he said that the Quest could do 90. Also, the XR2 chip has built-in Wi-Fi 6 and 5G connectivity. Um, the Wi-Fi 6 allows for faster and lower latency streaming, including the VR desktop, which is going to be even more used than ever before here. Um, and I don't know if the existence of the 5G capacity in there means that at some point we'll be able to log into a 5G network. Maybe we will. I don't know. That would be kind of cool to not have to set up a hotspot, but just log into a 5G network. You know. Another bit of the hardware news is it's only got one headphone jack as opposed to the two on the existing Quest. That's both good and bad. I mean, I only use one headset, as I'm sure most of you, or headphone jack, as I'm sure most of you do. But the presence of two enabled people to have their headphones plugged in so they could hear, and to have a transmitter plugged in to transmit the audio to their computer so they could record and stream and whatnot without the audio desync problem that was going on with the Quest. On a side note on that, VR Oasis, in his unboxing review of the Quest 2, mentioned that in the 2 weeks or so that he'd been testing it, he hasn't noticed any audio desync on the Quest 2. So that problem may be solved. It may be fixed. That's pretty awesome right there. And this ties in with the next section, which is the software updates. But there will be a tracked keyboard that works with Infinite Office. So Infinite Office is essentially their built-in productivity suite, as it were. And it will allow you to just put it on, as you can see in this video, have your browser pop up in front of you. You can use hand tracking, controllers, whatever. You get notifications from your coworkers that they moved up the deadline. You can easily switch and go to a different room. Obviously, you can already do that with the existing Quest. And then in a second here, I think we'll see the keyboard. Here we go. Here's the keyboard, and she's fading out the pass-through, putting it into a totally virtual environment. And the keyboard is hard to tell if it's being rendered or if it's being a pass-through there. It kind of looks like it's being rendered as opposed to being a strict pass-through, which either way, that's cool. It lets you see your keyboard as you type, so it solves the problem of not being able to type in the Oculus in the Oculus Quest. So this looks like a great little productivity suite thing that they're doing. So hey, I like it. Now on a related note, I couldn't find a trailer for this at short notice, but there will be a spectator camera option at some point that works with your Android phone or your iPhone, presumably iPad also, that will put a third-person view of the game you are playing on your Android, on your iOS device, and allow you to record it and share it anywhere. You want to share it on Instagram, you want to share it on Facebook, you want to share it on YouTube, you want to share it on Twitter. And I'm wondering if that will open up streaming anywhere, which is what people have been asking for. I don't know. Given that you can stream your phone screen, maybe. I don't know. And I have heard reports that has got improved hand tracking. And I thought that I heard in the keynote or one of the videos yesterday that they've got some higher resolution cameras in there. But in Carmack's talk yesterday, he said they're the same cameras. So I don't know. It could just be that the improved hand tracking is all because of the 90 hertz in the Oculus Home environment, allowing for smoother and quicker updates of the hand models. So obviously, as we saw in the Infinite Office video, there'll be a slider to fade out the virtual environment, fade in, pass through. I'm wondering if at some point, it didn't say it was right now, so this is pure speculation on my part, but I'm wondering if at some point it might be set up to have a glanceable pass through. So kind of like how right now you can glance down and see the Guardian outline. What if at some point you are able to just glance in the right way or in the right direction and to trigger a pass through and go, oh hey, my kid just fell down, that's the noise I heard, or something like that. So with all the innovations they're doing and all the extra abilities that the XR2 chip brings, I don't know, that may come. Also, there is Facebook Messenger support coming soon to it. I know, more Facebook, everybody's least favorite subject about the Oculus Quest. But this is useful because, as it is, if I'm in my Oculus Quest and my wife wants to get a hold of me, she has to send me a text message, and I don't always feel it vibrating in my pocket. And when I do, I have to either go, or I have to just look down the bridge of my nose and try to read it that way. Very awkward. So if the Facebook Messenger support comes, she can then message me with Facebook Messenger, and it'll pop up as a notification in my Quest, and then I can reply to her. So I see that as a very useful thing. Also on the software side, there will be less fixed foveated rendering needed, even in older games. And dynamic fixed foveated rendering will be the default. Dynamic is where it downsamples the periphery only when the game needs a performance boost. And with the XR2 chip, it's not going to need a performance boost quite as often as it does on the existing Oculus Quest. So dynamic FFR will probably be the default for new games that are running on the Quest 2. Also, speaking of software, we have a whole slew of AAA games coming. We have Warhammer 40K Battle Sisters on its way. can look up the trailer and see more on YouTube. We also have, in a surprise announcement that I did not see coming at all, given that I'm a backer of a Kickstarter for Firmament, we have Mist coming to the Quest.
I could see that the future was open before me, written by others in the pages of a remarkable book. My life was not set in stone by the ink on a page. I chose to travel this new path, not because it was required, but because it was astonishing. The thought of the splendid, vibrant, unforeseen worlds that would lie along this new path brought life to my very core. That remarkable book of new beginnings. And yet, even as I cherished it, I had to let it fall from my grasp. But I realized the moment I fell into the vision that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse.
That gets me excited. That was a huge game back in the day, and I think it has the potential to be a huge game now as well. We also have Assassin's Creed that was announced as coming to the Quest and Quest 2. I couldn't find a trailer for that, I'm sorry. We also have Splinter Cell that is on its way. Again, I could not find a trailer for that. However, the next huge one that's on its way, I did find a trailer for, and that is Sniper Elite.
A bullet can only penetrate flesh, but a sniper, they are the nagging unease that claws at the back of an enemy's mind. Soldier and commander alike, no one is safe. The fear they can instill in a foe, it can penetrate the soul.
Now, we don't have a date for any of these yet. That would be lovely if we did, but there's no date for any of those yet. We also have Jurassic World Aftermath, which is a game that supposedly takes place like 2 to 3 years, I think, after the events of the latest movie, and you are exploring his nublar and trying to survive while being chased by velociraptors. Always fun. As you can see, it's a survival game, and it's very cartoony, which some people like, some people don't. I'm on the fence about it, but I don't know if that was purely they wanted to have like a Telltale Games style look to it, or if they wanted to tone down on the realism so as to not totally freak people out in the game. I really don't know. But there you have it. It's Jurassic World Aftermath, and it's cartoony looking. So we also have Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which has been known to be coming for a while, but here's a snippet of the trailer for that as well.
Someone, anyone, please help! My counterpart R2-D2 and I were on board a part supply vessel bound for Batuu, but it was attacked. You needn't worry. I am a highly trained persistent spy. Dear, you do what? Don't be silly. You'll never make it. Nice.
And according to the cover art on the box and a confirmation kind of tweet from the developers, it looks like it will have Yoda in it, which is always nice. Always nice it is when Yoda is there. Sorry, I had to. We have The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners.
Well, I'll be damned. The tourist. Stories about you been buzzing all over the bayou.
Well, look at you, tourist, choosing sides. I have forgotten how much I enjoy the thrill of the brawl.
I'm gonna offer you an opportunity to be a hero.
Is that where you want to place your trust, New Orleans?
What's that?
So, as you can see, it looks suitably bloody and gory and full of walkers and violence. So, all you Walking Dead fans should be happy with it. We have two not AAA titles, but highly anticipated ones. And, well, one is highly anticipated, and the other was a complete surprise because people saw that initial thumbnail on the box and went, Is that Photoshop? That I haven't heard anything about that. So I'll get to that after I get to Population 1. We have a new Population 1 trailer. Squad up. When it comes, it will be intense and loads of fun. And the last one that I alluded to is, of course, The Climb 2. I know at least a few people in our Discord that are excited about that title. They are really looking forward to it. So, in other news, now that we've covered all that stuff, one more software bit that I almost forgot. I didn't to put it in my notes is the mixed reality tool, the MRC tool, that will enable you to, with no hooking it up to do anything, capture mixed reality video with supported titles. You will need a webcam, a computer, and the appropriate software on the computer, but it will, and I think it's already being used by a few people. I have it installed in mine, but I didn't really to figure it out yet. But it will let you use your Oculus Quest just like you would a Steam or Rift with Lib. So do those cool mixed reality videos that you see, but with your Quest. So now on to other news. They are discontinuing the Oculus Rift line. From everything I've seen and heard, they are discontinuing that. They are going all in on the Quest. And the Quest 2, as they said in the keynote, is their all-in-one headset. It literally does everything. It does standalone, it does PC. So, and to enable it to do PC, you can use a link cable. And by the way, the cable that is in the box with this is not a link. Well, it might work as a link cable, but it's only 1 meter long. It's not 3 meters. So it's not quite long enough to actually use it as a link cable unless you're right in front of the computer and not moving. So, but you can use an Oculus Link cable, and you have PC VR. You can play Asgard's Wrath, you can play Skyrim, you can play Carnage Chronicles, you can play the PC version of Robo Recall, etc. Wireless Link is still a ways off. Carmack was trying to push for it, saying that, hey, I guarantee you there are people out there right now that are using virtual desktop and other solutions and getting perfectly satisfactory results. So we don't need, right now, absolute perfection on the latency and whatnot, because, well, what's out there is already good enough for a lot of people. But it's still a ways off. Hopefully they will change their mind and make a wireless link available, because that would work more smoothly than virtual desktop does. So don't get me wrong, I love virtual desktop, I use it all the time, but it is a little bit clunky to have to open virtual desktop, wait for it to connect to your computer, and then open up the games or the menu, click on games, and then click on the game that you want. I mean, that doesn't take very long, but still it's a little bit of friction. And this may just be my imagination going on here, but I could easily imagine if Facebook, if Oculus integrated a wireless link with the Quest, that you'd be able to see your PC VR games in your library on the Quest. And you would just click on the game just like you do on a regular Quest title, and it would automatically go through all the steps to connect to the computer and get it ready for streaming. So if that's how they plan on it working, I hope they get it done very soon, because that would be a lot easier, a lot faster, a lot smoother. For now, Quest and Quest 2 compatibility is being strongly encouraged by Facebook. So developers are being encouraged very strongly, so maybe not like that, to not go with Quest 2 exclusive right now, and not do, well, we can do this on the Quest 2, but the Quest version, we can't do that on that, so we're going to fork it. Right now, all the software, all the games, all the apps are going to be the same across the board. However, there is a possibility of Quest 2 exclusives later on. Now, we also have a big list of accessories with the Oculus Quest 2. We have a case. Duh. Of course they're going to have a case for it. They also have an Elite strap, because the strap that the Oculus Quest 2 comes with is kind of like the Oculus Go's strap. It's not the greatest, and it looks like it's a little finicky to adjust in the back, and so, and it looks like it sits here as opposed to here where the Oculus Quest headset sits. So they are selling an Elite strap, which is more like the Oculus Quest, but it's kind of like got a hard case, a hard part here with a cushion, and then a bit that goes under the curve of your skull, kind of like the existing Oculus Quest strap. So I would say that's a must-buy. If you have the money, you can also get the Elite strap that is bundled with the case and a battery. Yes, they are selling a battery to extend the battery life of the Quest because, according to them, it's only 2 hours long. However, an Upload VR article I read said that they got 2.5 hours playing the Room VR. So, the mileage may vary. It's about the same as the Go, maybe as good as the Quest. It's in between there. It's roughly equivalent to what it already was. If you use the battery, you can extend it to twice as long. I personally did pre-order, and I pre-ordered it with the Elite strap without the case or the battery, and I got one of the other accessories, which hit the VR cover, which is essential also, because the Quest comes with that foam here that absorbs sweat like crazy and is not comfortable after a long period of time. Some people could only go half an hour. I could go an hour, but then it would start to give me a headache because of the foam and the compression of it and how it wasn't distributing the weight properly. So I've got a VR cover on my Quest, which is over that way. That's my son's Quest, and it is amazing. Absolutely no headaches with it at all, no matter how long I game. So that is an essential. So, and also obviously they are selling the Oculus Link cable. And they are also selling Logitech gaming headphones and Logitech gaming earbuds. Now, the built-in audio that the Quest has, I should have mentioned this in the hardware section, is the same kind as the original Quest, which is piped to your ears. However, with this one, the speaker isn't here and then a little channel piping it over. The speaker actually extends closer to your ear, it looks like. So it's a little bit better quality, the built-in audio. However, that's not necessarily adequate for a lot of people, including me, because I am hard of hearing. I have to wear one of these, a bone conduction aid, so I can't rely on the built-in audio. I have bone conduction headphones that I use with my Quest that fit over here and wrap around behind the head. So it works out great. So I didn't need those accessories, but if you want better audio than what the built-in stuff will provide, I would recommend getting the headset or the earbuds. And last but not least, they also have a fit kit. I'm not entirely 100% sure what that entails, but it looks like it's got basically more variety in the glasses spacer stuff. It's got replacement rings to go around the lenses, and it's got two different adapters to go in for the facial interface. So it looks like two different spacers. That could be to provide room for the arms of your glasses. It could be to push it out a little bit further from your eyes so your glasses are further from the lenses. But if that's something you need, that is something you should get also. So, in conclusion now, should you buy? Well, that's up to you. There is a lot of hardware improvements, but at the same time, everything's going to be compatible for probably at least another year. Also, again, I should have mentioned this back when I was talking about the hardware, but the new controllers are not backward compatible with the original Quest, as they were originally rumored to be. I was looking forward to them being backward compatible so that I could, because I was anticipating a little bit lower spec Quest 2, and so I was like, hey, I'll just grab the controllers and use them with my OG Quest. Well, yeah, that's not going to work. So, should you buy? Well, that is a decision best made by you, and only you. You know your budget. You know if it's something you can afford. If you already have a Quest, and this is something that would be a stretch for you to record or to afford, I would suggest holding on to your original Quest a little bit longer. Save up for this one, because they've kind of indicated that they've learned their lesson about availability, and they're starting off with more availability than they started off the original Quest with. So hopefully they'll keep that going, and when you are ready for it, they will have it still available for you to purchase. If you can easily afford it and you want a new one, hey, so go for it. If you don't have one, well, either you can look to buy a used Oculus Quest OG, which may be at a discount, maybe not, it depends. There are people out there that are selling them for like $700, $800. I would not go with those ones. But realistically, the Oculus Quest 2 would be the better option if you are just getting into VR for the first time. It's going to be better, it's going to be a little bit lighter, and it's going to be more future-proof, because eventually the original Oculus Quest will go bye-bye, just like the Go and the Gear VR have done. So, got to keep that in mind too. Which is something I'm having to keep in mind, because I'm going to have to try to sell stuff to offset the cost of this, or I can decide to cancel my pre-order and save up for it later on while continuing with my original Quest. I haven't quite decided which I'm going to do yet, so obviously I don't have a definitive yes you should buy or no you should not buy answer. From all that I can see and all that I've heard about it, it looks like a very good device. It's an excellent one. It's a little bit more cheaply made than the current version. It does not have the fabric on the outside. It doesn't have the fabric on the inside. So it's just plastic. And the controller straps, people have mentioned that they look really flimsy, so it is a little bit more cheaply made, but it does still look like it's still fairly decent quality, and it's not any lower quality, it's just not as gussied up. So, if I guess, use your best judgment. If you're getting into VR for the first time, go for it. If you can afford it, go for it. If you have any doubts about being able to afford it, I'd hold off. Stick with your original Quest a little bit longer, save up money, and then get it. I mean, it's not going anywhere. they're going to have this one for a while. If you're not able to afford it right now, save up as hard as you can until Christmas. You get it at Christmas. Or save up until January or February and get it then. It will be there waiting for you still. So, on that note, that's all I have to say about it. So, have a great rest of your day. See you Saturday on our regularly scheduled VR Untethered podcast. Bye.